Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is Unit 3, Lesson 4, Shapes and Parameters. The computer science standards we're covering today are decomposing problems and subproblems into parts to facilitate the design, implementation, and review of programs, systematically test and refine programs using a range of test cases, and document programs in order to make them easier to follow, test, and debug. Our essential question today is how can we use parameters to give the computer more specific instructions? This entire lesson is on code.org, so make sure you are signed in with your Google account on code.org, and your grade for this lesson is going to be based on your programming in the lesson on code.org. Watching the video is mandatory, so make sure you are watching this video. Best practice is to watch me do a step in the video, pausing the video, and then completing that step on code.org. Repeat until finished. All right, let's head over to code.org. So remember navigation here, right? You can navigate through this by clicking continue lesson, or you can go straight to the page where you can see all the lessons by clicking here. It takes you to this page. We've already done lesson 1, skipped lesson 2, we did lesson 3, we're on lesson 4. Let's get started. All right, so our vocab is parameter, and a parameter is an extra piece of information passed to a function to customize it for a specific need. So parameters are all about customization and determining where things are located and how big they are, how many sides they have, so on and so forth. The code we are focused on today is background, ellipse, and rectangle, and we'll see some more stuff, but this is the primary focus here. So let's continue. We're on bubble 2. On bubble 2, it says these rectangle blocks have 2 more parameters that you can use to control the size. And those parameters are width and height. And you see that out here in the 3rd and 4th spots on the code block for rectangle. So the rectangle block, right, we've got X, Y, width, and height. Again, that's X, Y, width, and height, right? Notice that the no stroke block turns off the stroke border for shapes. So let's test that actually. So no stroke determines whether or not this shape and this shape, because it's above both of them, will have a border or not. So if I pull this code out, reset and run, you can see that now these shapes have borders. Reset. And again, you can always click to show the grid so you can have a better determination visually about where you are on the display area, where you're placing your shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn no stroke back on, run, reset. Okay. So do this. It says, look at the code and try to figure out how the last 2 inputs in the rectangle block work. So again, let's run it. And we've got the grid turned on, width and height. So width right here for the blue rectangle, we know we're working with the blue and here on line 3 in the code, because the fill block says blue, and it says that it shows up at 100, 100, and remembering that our rectangles show up or begin their shape pattern up at the top left corner of that shape. The width at 100 is making it this wide. It's 2 squares on the grid wide. So each square in this grid is about 50 pixels wide. This is making it 100 pixels wide based on this number right here determining the width. Now the second number, or rather the 4th number on the block, is 200, which is making it this tall. So 50, 100, 150, 200, right? And just a reminder, right, 0, 0 starts up here on our display area, all the way down here to 400, 400. And remembering that your numbers for the grid for X and Y coordinates show up right here. So that's important to remember. Change the numbers in the second rectangle to make the red rectangle longer than the blue one. Well, that's pretty easy. All we have to do is adjust this number right here. Right now, it's shorter than the blue one by 50 pixels, right? 200 to 150. And that's why it is one grid block shorter than the blue one. So if I want it to be longer and match this image over here, I'm going to make it another length longer, or another grid block longer, so it stretches all the way down here. To do that, I'm changing this to 250. Reset, run. And that's what I want. It looks just like the picture over here. Just a reminder, when you're doing this, X is left and right, Y is up and down when you're determining where things are located. Here's X, here's Y, right? 100, 100 for that blue rectangle. So let's finish and continue. All right. So on this bubble, bubble 3, we're writing code that makes an orange ellipse behind the green one. Don't worry about the exact size as long as the green ellipse is entirely inside the orange one. But I always want to make it look like the picture that they show. So, all right, so the green ellipse is showing up correctly. So let's reset this and let's put in a fill color. And it needs to be orange. So we need to either click in there and backspace the yellow out, or however you want to do it, type orange. There we go. Make sure you spell it correctly, otherwise it won't read it right. We're using the ellipse block. We're going to put it up there on line 2 of the code. And let's run it from there, and that's huge. So let's change some of these parameters here. So 200, 200 for its location is fine, but its size is a little wonky. So let's try 350 for the width. Or no, actually, let's do the width of our green one is 200. It needs to be a little bit wider. So let's try 250 for the width. And then for the height, let's change that 400 to a 350. So we should have 200, 200, 250, 350. Reset, run. Perfect. And it looks just like the image over here. Finish. Let's move on to bubble 4. Bubble 4 says background. Sometimes you'll want to fill the entire screen with a color. For that, you can use background. It covers everything on the screen with the color you choose. Do this. Run the code to see background work. Okay, run. All right, so we've got a big yellow background. And the code that's making that is on line 3 here. Background yellow. Change the background from yellow to orange. Okay, that's easy. Reset, run. We've got an orange background. And then the challenge here is there's a purple square that is covered up by the background. Can you change the order of the code so that you can see both the purple and blue squares? I think we can do that. So we need to remember that the computer reads this sequentially, right? It reads it in order from top to bottom. And that means that it's going to draw these things in order. And so this fill purple and this rectangle block right here, that's making that purple square that's actually hidden behind the orange background up here, because the orange background is being drawn second. And then it's drawing the blue block third, and that's why it's still showing up. So we need to take this and snap it down at the bottom so that our code is in this order right here. And then if we run it, now it's drawing the purple square last, so it's showing up on top of the background, which is being drawn first. All right, let's finish and move on. On bubble 5, backgrounds again. Background will draw on top of everything already in your drawing, so it's important to think about the order of your code. Do this. Use the background block to make a black background behind the green circle. So if we run it right now, all we have is the green circle, because that's all our code is telling the computer to draw. So let's grab background color here. And we want to make that black, so type in black there. You also have this drop down option, but black isn't an option, so type in black. And then we need to grab nothing else. I think that should do it. It'll draw the background first and then the green circle. Yeah, cool. Let's finish, and we're on bubble 6. And bubble 6 says, this program uses the 4-parameter version of rectangle and ellipse to draw a simple scene. Do this. Debug this program and correct the error so that the grass extends across the entire bottom. So let's run it and see what's going on. Oh yeah, yeah. So right now we've got kind of like a cliff going on, but we want it to look like this image over here, make our grass go all the way across. Well, we know that if we turn our grid on, to make our grass show up the way we want it to, going all the way across, we need to change the width. Right now it's showing up at 0x 300y, right? And I can confirm that. And its width is 200, which is getting it from 0 to 200. Its height is 100, right? So we need to change the width, and we're going to change the width to 400 to make it go all the way across, because our display area is 400 across. Perfect. Alrighty. And then let's break down this code. So background is sky blue. Yep. And fill yellow for this ellipse, and it should show up at 350/50, which is correct. You can see down there the XY component coordinates are correct, 350/50, and then the size is 50/50. So if I were to change the size of this, right, by changing the width and height, say 100/100, reset run, then it makes the sun twice as big as before. So parameters are all about changing the size and shape of your, and really the location as well, of what you're drawing on the screen or what you're telling the computer to draw on the screen. So let's work on all 3 of these activities here. So A, B, and C, we'll do them all. Let's do A first. So on A, it says debug the hidden shapes. The code below should be making a pretty picture, but right now, only one ellipse is showing up. Do this. Debug the code so the picture shows on the right. Okay, so we need the picture to match up with this. What's going on right now? Whoa, okay, so just a giant red circle, which is not what we want to show up, but we can see that this is drawing a whole bunch of stuff. Let's look at the order of this, right? So red, then orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink. So orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, I guess, and then violet, and then red. So the order of the code is important. So I think all we have to do is pull this block all the way up to the top, pull its ellipse block all the way up to line 2 in the code, reset and run. Perfect. All right, cool. That was pretty easy, so let's finish. Let's do debug the missing shapes. So right now, nothing's showing up, but we want it to look like this. All right. Debug the missing shapes. When the code below is run, nothing shows up. Do this. Debug the code so that an image shows up. Well, let's look at the order of it. Black, white, black, white, black, white. And then here's the width and height of everything. So the order of it is correct because the width and height, the biggest black square that goes on the bottom gets drawn first. So that's in the right spot. I think what we need to change is the X and Y coordinates. So let's try 50 And we want that to match. So let's run that. Okay. And then let's do, and then these are just slightly different locations and coordinates. So let's change this by 10 each time. So 60, 60, reset, run. Okay, all right, I like what we're doing now. So 70, 70, 80, 80, and I'm just changing the X and Y. Whoop, that needs to be 90, doesn't it? 90, 90, and then for the last one, 100, 100, reset, run. Yes, all right, cool. That worked out perfectly. Finish, continue, and let's do C. Finish the scene. Be creative and finish the drawing however you want. All right, cool. So we get to be a little bit creative here. All right, so right now we've got just a red rectangle on some green grass and a blue sky. So let's put a door on here. Let's see. So we'll want to grab a fill. And I want let's make it a black door. And we need a rectangle block. So pull that out of the toolbox. And the location for that, let's put it like right here, 180, 260. Reset, run. All right, and then we need to change the width and height. So let's make it just from 260 to like 225. So let's make it 40 wide. Run that. I like it. And then let's fix the height to like let's try like 90 and see what happens. Reset, run. Awesome. That's perfect. Okay. So we've got a door now. And let's put a little roof up here. Last thing we want to do. So let's grab we'll just make it a black roof. Make it easy for ourselves. We've already got that fill block there. So it will make everything beneath it until you do another fill block black. So let's put it like 100, 130. So it's already at 100, 130. And then reset, run. We need to change the width and height dramatically, right? So for the width, it's probably okay. But for the height, let's make it like 20. See what happens. Great. Now it's got a little roof on it. So cute. All right, finish. Continue. We're moving on to bubble 8 because we've finished all 3 of these activities. On bubble 8, debug using 4 parameters. Now that the grass is working, let's add a cloud to the sky. Unfortunately, it looks a little funny right now. So it says it looks funny. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've never seen a cloud look like that. So let's debug it so it looks more like this. Debug this program to make the cloud wider than it is tall, like in the image. Hint, you'll need to change 2 parameters. Which ones set your cloud's width and height? So we've got these helpful comment blocks, right, that say what's happening with the code. So drawing the sky is blue, yes. Drawing the sun, correct, okay. Drawing the grass is great. Drawing the cloud, all right. So the width and height is what we need to fix because the location is okay. So I think all we need to do is swap these two numbers, because the width right now, it's skinnier than it is tall. We need to reverse that. So let's make it wider than it is tall. Perfect. Looks just like the picture. Practically a Rembrandt over here. All right. So now we have made it to shapes and parameters challenge bubble 9. So right here, I want you to choose at least 2 of these to work on yourself. And let's take a look at this one. I'm going to go over a few of these to help you out a little bit. So let's take a look at this one first. And I think I selected A. Yeah, okay, A. As of now, you have just been drawing ellipses and rectangles, but now there is a new block to help draw other shapes. Do this. Read the code that makes the current image. Use the regular polygon block to finish the code so it matches the picture on the right. Okay. Looks like we've got a lot of work to do because we're only drawing 4 shapes so far. All right, so let's finish across the top. All right, so we're going to grab another regular polygon. And let's make this one, let's see, let's turn on the grid. Be like 250. Whoop, not typing anywhere. 250 by 75. And then let's leave those 2 numbers, reset, run. Okay, cool. So what this is doing, right, this is still, let's take a look at this block. So right now we're working on X and Y, putting in the location, and then this determines the number of sides that it has, right? And then this, I'm thinking, determines the size. Let's see if I change that to like 7, let's change it to like 100 and see what happens. Reset, run. Yeah, okay. That's exactly what I thought, and it's correct. And so let's take this out. It's 50, reset, run. All right, we've got that shape in there. And then we need to draw that last one, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. All right, so this one, we need to have it be over here. So let's put it at 350. This, let's see, let's make it 75 because we're getting it on the same Y. And then it has 6 sides. So let's draw that one. Perfect. All right, and let's move down to the next line down here. So we're going to grab another regular polygon. And this one, let's see, it's going to match up with, that's Y. Let me pause for a second. All right, I think I got it worked out. So this next block, it should be, to show this one that has 8 sides, should be 150, 175, 150x, 175y. And I haven't tested this yet. 8 sides, 50 for the size. Yes, cool. Okay, let's continue doing this row. And then after I complete this row, I'm going to leave you on your own to finish the rest of this out. So this next one, and we can kind of cheat a little bit using this. So X, remember, is left and right, Y is up and down. So this next row is going to be 250 because we're putting it over here. And then this should be, let's see, 175 for Y, because we're putting it right on this plane. And then the number of sides it has as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sides. Reset, run. Let's do one more. And I think this last one has 10 sides. So we'll grab this regular polygon block again. This one's going to be at 350, 275, 10 sides. Reset, run. Oh no, I did that wrong. Where did I mess up? 175. Reset, run. There we go. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to leave you on your own for the rest of it, completing out the rest of that. So finish, continue, and let's work on this one. I'm going to pause for a second. All right, I'm back with you, folks. Okay, so let's take a look at this. It says shape. As of now, you have just been drawing ellipses and rectangles, but now there is a new block to help you draw other shapes. Read the code that makes the picture. Use the shape block to finish the code so it matches the picture. Play around some more with the shape block to see what you can make. Well, we're going to match the picture. So run. All right, so let's take a look at this. So fill red, fill blue. So taking a look at the shape block and how that works down here, we've got lots of parameters here. There's x1, y1, 200, 200. We're looking at the red one. So 200, 200 is the exact center. Let's turn on the grid. So this is the first point. So this is determining the points of it. Okay. x2, y2, 0, 400. That's this corner down here. And then 400, 400 is this corner down here. So let's make the yellow triangle. So shape. Oh, let's take that back out. First I need to do fill yellow. Okay, cool. It's already set. So shape. And for our first part, we want, I think, x400, y0. So this should be 400. That next one should be 0. And then for our next spot, x2 and y2, that's going to be 200 and 400. And then, let's see here, 200. Or maybe 200, 200. That makes more sense. Yeah. 200, 200. And then 400, 400. Reset, run. Okay, cool. Let's try the green one. So we're going to fill color. Is green here? Yes, it is. Shape. All right. So for this one, let's see. So the middle of it is going to be 200, 200 again, I think. And then last bit, let's see. This will be 0, 0. And the last part should be 0, 400. I'm thinking that should be right. Yeah. All right, cool. We got it. Let's finish this one and continue. And I'm going to pause you right here. All right, back to it. Let's look at this one. So new block line. as of now, you've just been drawing ellipses and rectangles, but now there's a new block to help to draw just lines. Read the code that makes the picture, use the line block to finish the code so it matches the picture. It only uses straight lines. Play around some more with the line block and see what you can make. Okay, so run. That's really cool looking. I really like that. So basically what we need to do is, I think, just kind of flip this. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line break in here so I can know where I'm working. So all right, so let me explain to you how the lines work in the code. So you've got x1, y1, x2, y2, and basically x1, y1 is where the line begins, and x2, y2 is where the line ends, right? So let's start working on this. So basically, to make an inverse of this image down here, like it is on this picture, I'm thinking we just need to flip-flop all of these numbers. So 0, 0, and then 450. And then let's grab another one. And then this one should be 50, 0, 400, 100. And let's see how we're working with it so far. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this is going to work. So now another line. We're working on the line 3 here. So this one should be 100, 0, 400, 150. Let's do another one. So working from line 4 here, this one should be 150, 0, 400, 200. Reset, run. Okay, so far so good. Let's keep working with these lines. So now we've done 4, so we're on line 5 here. So 200, 0, 400, 250. Grab another one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 6, we got 250, 0, 400, 300. Let's grab another one. This will be line 7. This one's going to be 300, 0, 400, 350. And the last one should be 350, 0, 400, 400, and then reset, run. Oh, yeah. Cool. I like that it kind of looks like a person's eye, like if you made more lines in here or like put an ellipse in there. That makes me think, like, yeah, you could totally put ellipses right there and make it look like an eye. That would be kind of freaky. All right, cool. I like it. Let's finish that one. And I'm going to pause you right there. All right, back at it. Let's go into D and work on making some arcs. So the arc command works just like the ellipse, except it has 2 extra parameters. These parameters specify 2 different angles that are used to create the arc. Do this. Read the code and see how the arc block works. Pay close attention to the last 2 parameters in each arc command. Play around with the arc block once you think you know how it works. Hints. For both angles, 0 degrees is to the right, 90 degrees is down, 180 degrees is to the left, 270 degrees is up. The arc is always drawn clockwise from wherever start falls to wherever stop falls on the ellipse. They made that sound as complicated as possible. Let's see. So let's run it with the grid turned on. So let's take a look and analyze this code. So at 5100, that's this one right here, right? Because we can look at the block itself down here. The first 2 parameters are the x and y coordinates, and then width and height right here, 100, 100. That's making its size. And then the start position and stop position. If start is 0 and end is 360, so it's making that full radius, right? A full circle at 360. Let's look at line 2 in the code. So 200, 100, right? That's this one. 100, 100 is the size of it. And then it starts at 90 and ends at 180 right there. Or no, starts, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line. It starts at 0 and makes it to 300. Okay, so 0 is right here, 300 is here. Okay. And then we've got a fill green block on line 3. On line 4, we're looking at 350, 100. That's this guy right here. That's the location of it, X and Y. And then 100, 100 is the size. So 100, 100 all over the place on the size for width and height. And then it starts at 90, ends at 180. Okay. And then we've got no fill down here for these, and that's why they're just showing up as lines. That's kind of cool. So if you choose no fill, it won't fill it in with a color at all. That's neat. So location is 50, 200, right? Right there. 100, 100 on the size, and then 0, 180. Okay. So it's going to take 180 degrees. So this is 360 degrees, or this one's 360 degrees. This one's 300 degrees. This one is basically 90 degrees, 180, and then this one is 30 to 210. That's cool. Okay, so let's make another one. It doesn't really specify what we need to make. There's no image up here to copy. So let's just make another one, and I want to use a fill. Let's make it blue. Why not? Let's choose another arc, and let's put it down here. So 350, 350. Whoops, not 3,500, of course. 350. And then let's change the size to 100, 100. And then let's just play around, right? 0, 90. Okay. Let's change this number to like 10. Whoop. Or let's change it to like 70 to 90. And that's just like a sliver. That's cool. Let's keep playing around with it. Let's try, what does 100 do? I think that's going to make it be up here. Oh, okay. All right. 100 to 90. Like it kind of inverts. That's cool. So let's try like 0 to 360 like that first one was. Should be a full circle. And then let's play around with this number and see 90, 0 to 90, 0 to 180, 0 to 275, whatever. Cool. All right, so that's arcs. And I'm going to end the video right there because this last one is just make a shape scene. You can do whatever you want with that. I do want you to have gone through A, B, C, and D like I did in the video. And I know this assignment has taken a while, but it's good for you to learn all of these about making shapes and parameters because it's going to help you out in the long run. So that's it for this lesson. Thanks for bearing with me, guys, and I hope you've had fun.